Good day, class. Welcome to another class with DSA. I am your project facilitator, Nancy Babadi, and with me we have Mr. Kingsley Adiole. Sorry. So, welcome to everybody. It's nice seeing you all once more. It's nice having you all here. I'm grateful to be here. So it has been an eventful week, right? It has been an interesting weekend, an interesting week. I mean, today is just Monday. So I'm sure everybody has a lot going on for them or had a lot going on for them during the weekend. So, welcome to another class with myself and with my amazing team. We all say welcome to everyone. So we'll just let everyone settle in. We'll give them like 5 more minutes for everyone to get ready for the class. Or a minute. Let's give everyone a minute. So hi. Welcome to class. Welcome, Stella. I have missed you all. It has been a minute. Welcome, Nancy. Welcome, Aditun. Welcome. Hi, Esther. Welcome to class. Hi, Oge. Welcome to class. Hello, Favor. Nice to have you in class. Hi, Victor. Welcome to class. Hi, okay. Hi, Tehila. Hello, Simisola. It's nice to have you in class. Hello, Nafisat. Hi, Mary. Hi, Simpson. Hello, Nice Smile Fountain. Hi, Chef Tepita. Hi, Ola. Hello, Idache. Hi, Tienye. I missed you too. So, without further ado, I think that's enough hellos, even though we're going to spend the whole time here. Let's get into the slides. So I'm just going to do hi Cassie, missed you too. So the last class, I'm sure you were able to go through the class with Mr. Kingsley. I'm sure he did it like an amazing job. I know he did an amazing job, right? So can we do like a quick recap? What were the highlights of last week? Of what you learned from the class with Mr. Kingsley last week? Just a quick recap. Okay, so you learned about procurement, QC, QAs, nice. Last week was very interactive, meaning of team. I learned that procurement is a key component of PM. Amazing. Vendor selection. Beautiful. What else? Quality assurance. And what was that? Control, procurement, also team. That's so beautiful. And then about team collaboration, procurement from Joel, contract quotation, Damilola Adeyemi said quality assurance and quality control. That's about teamwork and team collaboration, solicitation, planning, preparing of documents like RFPs, ITB, invitation to bid, the request from bid suppliers, building and managing high performance team. All these are great. It means that a lot of persons took a lot of things back home and have brought it to the table to serve it to me. I'm very glad, and I'm sure Mr. Kingsley is also very much impressed with everybody. The fact that you all picked something during the last class. So without further ado, I'm just going to do like a brief recap of everything, and then we could still see how we can move directly into today's topic. I'm just going to have a much interactive class with you all today and see how we can finish up the topic in good time. So, yeah, let's move the slides, shall we? Great. Okay, so let's move to the next slide. So, building and managing high performance teams, we have roles and responsibilities, conflict resolution, and communication planning, right? These are all the terminologies and pointers to take as a project manager. So, the definition of team, I'm just going to click through the slides. Working towards a shared purpose or goal, complementary skills, sharing responsibility, interdependence, collaborative decision making, acting as a unit, characterized by participation and trust, communication struggles, collaboration, clear struggles, roles, and quality control. So we have characterized by participation, trust, communication, struggles, collaboration, clear struggle roles, quality control. So teamwork is the ability to work together toward a common vision. It is the fuel that allows common people to attain uncommon results. Andrew Carnegie, team means together everyone achieves more, right? And I am because you are, and you are because we are. That's a very motivative speech, right? Yeah, so a lot of people are putting in their foot forward today. I'm happy about that. And then we have group versus team. Group, complementary efforts by group of people, etc., lifting something, stuffing envelopes, while team, cooperative efforts required to carry out a joint task, maintenance crew, project team, sales team. So if, for example, we say a group, what is a group? Is a group of persons are just somebody or some persons complementing the effort of another person. I'm helping you with this, I'm helping you with that. Where a group was supposed to help each other to do this, to do that, to do this, to do that. And it might not be as platonic, right? But as a team, not just is my success your priority, my success my priority, your success is also my priority. As a team, you learn one of the most important thing to take as a team is that you have to learn to be very selfless. You have to learn to be cooperative. You have to learn to be understanding. You have to learn to be open minded. You have to learn to be accommodating. As a group, you could, like, for example, I'm sure when you are in school, or yeah, most places of school, when you're in school, they group you all into a group. They group members into a group, right? And in that group, most of the times, one person may just be the lead. We have the group lead, right? We have the group lead. We have, oh, just that one person that is doing everything, right? And then we have somebody that might be able to help present, while the rest of the persons maybe just write one or two to add to the document or to the report, right? So you that is like a group. Everybody just chips in and just make sure that at the end there is a finished product rather. But as a team, you have to make sure that everybody knows their responsibilities. Um, Roles are delegated properly. Everybody knows what he or she is supposed to bring to the table, and everybody has to make sure that the report is totally understandable, readable, comprehensible, and make sure that everybody reaches a success, that not just for whoever the team lead or team leader may be, but for the whole team. Everybody chips in, everybody adds, everybody is a winner in a team. So yeah, that's just it. This is just me adding to pretty much the last class. The group lead, like the class rep of a class. Yes, me. Yes. So, evolution of teams, among other skills, one that most successful leaders have mastered is the ability to build great teams. In the absence of a great team, nothing worthwhile can get accomplished. Team building is a science. Team, irrespective of what field they are in, go through the same four distinct stages on their way to becoming well-functioning units. It is a science that you would do well to master. So in this slide, it just pretty much says that um, it is not just a word. It's more than a word. It's more of an act. It's more of science, whereby it has a process, it has a methodology, it has descriptions on how to build a team. You don't just build a team because you want to. You have to go through the processes, through the method of building a team, and you should learn how to do that. So, what in sorry, my screen is having a bit issue. Okay, sorry. Previous slide. Case study. So Seasonal soon began to notice the patterns of behavior that she had not till then. Rose and Ola, two of her senior members, seemed to be engrossed in proving their knowledge and superiority over each other to everyone. Each began to run a campaign to get the new recruits to be aligned to them over the other. This mini power struggle between Rose and Ola began to bother Seasonal, but she let it pass, thinking it would blow over naturally. As time passed, the infighting, disagreement, and team conflict soon became the order of the day. Team performance deteriorated, resulting the team failing to meet the quarterly performance target. Thank you, Akinwale. I did have a nice day. So, what this case study is telling us is that seasonal here right now is a project manager, and she had a conflict amongst her team members, and that conflict amongst the team members was something she felt she didn't need to interfere in. Right? She felt, okay, these two persons are adults. Ola and Rose are adults. Whatever the issue may be, they may be able to handle themselves, and it's not that deep. Right? We always say it's not that deep. Well, unfortunately for seasonal, it was actually very deep. One thing you need to understand is that once humans feel hurt or disrespected or twatted away by their input or whatever they seem to add to a group or a team, there tends to be a form of beef, disagreement, misalignment amongst team members. And because of emotions are now involved, these so persons tend to forget the major point of why they're here. Hi, Adedipe, Bisola, welcome to class. They now forget the main reason why they are supposed to be in class. They now forget what the reason is, why they're here, why they're being paid to work. And like they said in the case study, there was poor communication, there was misalignment, there was miscommunication, there was no team bonding, hence why the team members had a fallout, and hence why the project was affected. So, as a team member and as a project manager handling a team, it's much, very much advisable for you to always try your best to interfere when you notice that two of your team members, your team members are having miscommunication or improper line of networking or communication amongst themselves, and so on. So this is what this is just a case study of how important it is to know how to build a team. So building high performance teams, this involves creating a cohesive and effective team that consistently delivers exceptional results. So key characteristics of high performance teams include clear goals and purpose, collaborative and inclusive culture, strong communication and feedback, trust and respect amongst team members, diverse skills and expertise, adaptability and resilience, continuous learning and improvement, empowered decision making, accountable and responsible team members, celebrating success, learning from failures. So I want you to check the pointers that is written here. I'm not asking you to tell me what you think may be your flaw as a person. No, I'm not going to do that. But I want you to look at it and check deep down within you, which of this am I guilty of as a person, as a team member? You don't need to answer me, but if you've noticed that you have one or two of these problems, I think you need to readjust yourself and realign yourself as a project manager and as a team member. Because one thing with we humans is that we tend to feel that I am always in the right, I am never in the wrong. He hurt me or she hurt me, so I will not apologize and I am in my right. Right? Most of these things are things that we as human beings feel entitled to because, I'm human and he or she is supposed is on his own, right? But then, yeah, I hope you can look at these points and pick amongst them which one of this do you think you have as a person. Not necessarily you pointing it out in the comment section. Just go through it. Do you think you have issues with knowing what your goals are or your purpose is, or do you have issues adapting to a um, cultural behavior of your office? Do you have any issues trusting your team members? As human beings, too, we tend to, when you're working in, like, an organization, a ministry, company, whatever, you may feel the need to barricade yourself and not want to trust. But um, when it's very advisable that when you're in a office space or in a cubicle or whatever ministry you're in, I'd advise that you have trust levels for that cubicle that you're in, for that organization or company that you're in, right? Yes. So yeah, let's move to the next slide. This slide is taking a lot of our time. Seasonal said the analogy using my name is actually quite typical of me because I like to mind my business and allow people to learn and grow independently, but I'm learning the long term effect of that. Okay, seasonal, thank you very much. So yeah, so just always learn to have an open mind, diversify your skills, expertise, know how to make decisions that not only helps you but also helps other people, right? Always help other people. Just take your time, analyze which of this do you have as a person, and just try to work towards it. Hi, Joy. Welcome to class. Yes, I agree with you, Stella. I agree. Yes, these characteristics that point us to high performance. Yeah. So, in layman understanding, building high performance teams, you need sense of purpose, setting clear expectations, open communication, regular conversations, trust and mutual respect, sincerity, integrity, commitment, reliability, shared relationship, and situational leadership. Okay, so I'm going to give you a quick example with this high performance teams. Myself, when I work at a art and entertainment sector. So what we usually do is that we have this skills course that we usually take based on trust and respect. It's called uh the Maya program. Our boss made it compulsory for us to take such courses to learn how to mutually respect each other, to have um a cultural system whereby you have to learn to respect the next person seated to you in the office, or the next person that's about to speak in the meeting. You have to learn to respect the person, not because of age wise, not because of where you are at in life, but you must just learn to respect the next person right next to you. And then we have sincerity, integrity, commitment, reliability, shared leadership, and situational leadership. So these are all things that you also need to learn to have as a project manager, team member, to help your team grow. So we build high performing teams for the following reasons: build relationships, reduce stress, raise morale, enhance communication, reward, recognize, and motivate, share experience, stimulate creative thinking. So these are just pretty much activities that you can take in order to help your team members to grow and you yourself to as well to grow. When you work in a stressful organization, or when you work with stressed team members, you tend to notice that a lot of team members will not be able to be as productive, will not be able to give their best. So you have to make sure that all of these points are things that you have to take as a project manager to grow your team. So, building high performance team as a project manager, you have the choice as to which type of team you create. It is your job to help the team become really great. If you think of the best team, you have been on, many of the above characteristics were most likely there. Any team, any team you think of in work, sports, or other activities, uh, even a relationship goes through a series of steps before it can truly become effective and good performance. Roles and responsibilities. So we're going to move to slide 18. Sorry guys. A little network glitch over at my side. I hope you can hear me now. Hi, Comfort. Sorry about that, about what happened to you and your office. It happened. It's part of the J's job. Thank you, Stephen. I'm really grateful. Okay, so great. Let's move. Roles in teams. So these are the natural roles that people play in teams. Every role is necessary for a performing team. Meredith Belbin has developed the following list of roles that people in teams play. We have the organizer. The organizer's role is to direct the group, but this tends not to be done in an overbearing manner. They are dominant without being overly assertive. And then we have the president. The president concern is to win to reach goals by putting every effort into the process. They are highly motivated. They have a high degree of nervous energy for achievement. And we have the doer. The doer is conscientious and is concerned with detail. Doers are exactly doers of scheme, which others have devised. Doers prefer to work alone. So I'm sure you have met the organizer in your company. Do you have that boss or that team member that is strict, that is open to people, that is kind regardless, has empathy, and does not necessarily force you to do your job, but because of your relationship with this person and understanding where the person is, you tend to just naturally do your job. You just tend to naturally do what you are supposed to do without anybody pressuring you or without this person pressuring you. Those are the roles of an organizer, or that person is an organizer. So the organizer is meant to direct without being overbearing, without being inconsiderate, without being careless with your um this is the main class, Nelly. We've started the main class. We started with roles and responsibilities of a team. Roles and team. Sorry, when the network glitch, I said it and didn't come off. Sorry. So we're already in the next phase. Esther, don't worry, the slides will be shared. So and then We have the president. The president's concern is to win to reach goals by putting every effort into the process. They're highly motivated, they have a high degree of nervous energy, and a great need for achievement. So a president is pretty much that energetic boss that is always motivating you to do the job of the day, that is always putting in your best interest, but also the priority or the primary goal is the interest of the company or of the project. This person can be called a president because their priority is to make sure that the goals is being met and in a very enthusiastic manner. Funny enough, the mannerism may not really be as what it is said, but this is how the roles are meant to be. And then we have the doer. The doer is conscientious and is concerned with detail. Doers are excellent doers of schemes which others have devised, and doers prefer to work alone. You also have that team member that enjoys doing their job alone. They don't really want every other person's in the team to, affect what they're doing or to mess with their results or to have any defect on their reports, right? We always have that door. So these are the kind of the classification of people that you'll tend to meet in a team. You'll meet the enthusiastic ones, you'll meet the um, assertive and dominant ones, and you'll meet the doors. So these are factors you also have to consider when you are making sure that roles and teams are pretty much clear. And then in the next slide we have creatives. Yeah, for the creatives, they are creative and innovative. They are responsible for the production of ingenious new ideas and novel strategies. They are very bright. Their ideas may often be radical, and practical constraints may sometimes be overlooked. So for creatives tend to see, most people tend to see creatives people as like, out of the box thinkers, people that are always wanting to be um wanting to be everywhere. They want to touch here, they want to touch there, they want to see how it can work, right? So because of this, they are not really constrained. They have so many ideas up there and they're just looking for ways to implement them that could be beneficial to the team or to the team and to the project. Sorry about that. So we have the enlightener. The enlightener, as the name suggests, is good at finding out what is available and what can be done. They ask questions to make sure everyone understands and to clarify information. So as an enlightener is pretty much that person that will ask the questions that feels um that feels dumb. I'm sorry to use this word, or that feels some people may think it's a stupid question, but it's never really a stupid question. The person is actually asking a question that benefits everybody. Um, the enlightener is that person that fully understands and would want to still make sure that he's clear. This is just the person that has clear understanding, clear communication on what needs to be done. So that's who the enlightener is. Sorry, Ijai, for leaving the class. We'll meet you in the next. You'll get to watch the class eventually. So we have the evaluator. The evaluator is very good at weighing up the facts, carefully considering the pros and cons, each option, and finally coming to a well considered decision. So the evaluator could also be seen as an analytical person, somebody that is always cross-checking, analyzing, making sure that, oh, does this really make sense? Does this align Does 2 plus 2 make 4? That's pretty much what who the evaluator is. And we have the coworker. The coworker is a good communicator, trusting, sensitive, and caring. They will tend to place the group's objectives and the smooth running maintenance of the group itself before their own personal ambition. So, as a coworker, you need to, or the person rather, is very good at communicating, is very trusting, is very sensitive, is very caring. I'm sure you might be able to check from the slides, and one of these roles, I'm sure, definitely defines your person. It might be an enlightener, an evaluator, a coworker, and then we have the finalizer and the creative. So I want you to also check deep down, which of these roles do you think you are? I want you to understand that you yourself, as a project manager, you need to clearly know on state where your strengths are and where your weaknesses are. You need to know where what kind of role you fit into as well. Are you an evaluator? Are you an enlightener? Are you a coworker? Are you creative? And it's not a bad thing to be more than one. I feel like it's even more complementary when you are more than one. But yeah, just which resonates most with you. And then we have the finalizer. The finalizer pays attention to detail. They are hardworking and conscientious. As their title suggests, they are great at picking up the loose ends of tying them up. Okay, so as a finalizer, the finalizer have you seen these reels whereby they say that you check your emails 10 times before you post them, before you send them? You'd be seeing like, "Hi there, hope you're doing well," and then you see, "Hi dad." So yeah, I'm sorry to use this joke, but yes, as a finalizer, they are very clear. They have the superpower of making sure that every single thing is perfect. They cross check reports as measly as an is or a should be in a sentence. It is very much important for you as well to also pick it up as a superpower. So Chinne Doom said she or he is a creative, which is great. Ibona said I guess a person can have all the qualities or belong to all groups. If you are Superman, sure. Joel says these roles seem to be overlapping. There's an individual That's an individual can play more than a what? Sorry. These roles seem to be overlapping. That's an individual can play more than a role. Yes. Yes, Joel. Sorry. I think you had a typo error that I couldn't decipher. So Oko said he's an evaluator and eliter. Okay. Philip said, "Would you tell us where you fit in the most?" Okay. Viola said, "I'm a co-worker." Oh, that's so beautiful. So I like to think of myself as a co-worker. This is to Philip, and as a creative. And you could also say I'm an organizer. I'm an organizer, and sometimes I tend to be a doer. So yes, I tend to be a doer from time to time. But yeah, Precious said I'm an evaluator, an enlightener, and co-worker, which is beautiful. Precious said, "I happen to be someone that can play all the roles through my more efficient than the other." Very beautiful. That's a very good point. Uji said, "I'm president, creative, and an evaluator." Wow, amazing. China said she is a finalizer. I am really impressed with everybody knowing where they fit in. I am really happy that you all know where you fit in. And of course, make sure to always pick up a new skill to increase your skill sets. These are things that you would also want to even put in your resumes to be more descriptive. Do you understand? These are skills that are also very marketable and sellable. So Akonu said, I'm a co-worker and evaluator. Perfect. So let's move to the next slide. We have the Belbin Team Roles questionnaire. We have the social, we have the thinking, and we have action. So the Belbin Team Role Circle. Under the Team Role Circle, we have love, resource investigator, sorry. We have plant, we have man of evaluation, sorry, monitor evaluation specialist. We have the specialist for SP, we have implementer, IMP, we have completer, finisher, CF, and we have shaper, SH, and we have coordinator, and we have team worker. So we have the socials, and we have the action doers, and we have the thinkers. In the Belbin, you can also figure out where to fix yourself to here. It's just pretty much a description of the previous slide. So building scoring self-perception inventory developed by Meredith Bilbin was designed to assist in bringing out enhancements in individuals and team performance. It asks questions you on how you trust you can produce team roles, which indicate on how each role contributes to the team and what their probable weaknesses might be. So this is just the Belbin pretty much makes you to self-evaluate yourself, right? If you say you're an organizer, if you say you're a doer, if you say you're a president, if you say you're an enlightener, what other fields are you lacking? How do you resolve to the problems that come to you? How do you analyze it? How do you think it? How social are you? How are you quick to action? That's pretty much what the Belbin methodology is. It helps just make you helps make you make more, excuse me, more analytical evaluation of yourself in where you think you place yourself or where you think you are. Yeah, a lot of people are still explaining where they are coming from, which I am really appreciative of. So we have the resource investigator. So um, the resource investigator uses their inquisitive nature to find ideas to bring back to the team. So, and then the surprised to find that they might forget to follow up on a lead. So under resource investigator, right, we have that one person in the team to that is always looking forward to wanting to add to the team, that is always looking for ways to add to the team. He or she is constantly going out of her way to do something spontaneous that can come back to the team and give good report. So their weaknesses for the investigator is that they might be over optimistic and can lose interest once the initial enthusiasm has passed. So the thing is that this kind of persons are usually okay. The thing is that these persons are usually on a work high. Sorry, everybody. They're usually like on a work high. They have like a fluctuation of productivity. They could be all time high, and then before you know it, they're all time low, right? And it's something that tends to come and go, but you cannot just fix it all in just one researcher at some point, right? But you just have to be much more clear and communicate to them that, oh, you have brought this idea, oh, you have done this. We still need you to just push a little more and do better and give us a much more adequate report, and do try your best. And most researchers, you yourself as a team, as a project manager, understanding your team, you have to then follow up on this kind of persons that you know are not delivering. You already know that this person will get up to a will get to a work high, and before you know it, it goes down low. So you now are supposed to be a motivator. You're supposed to make sure that you get their spirits all high. You have to be like the president. You have to be motivating them. You have to bring energy in to tell them, oh yes, we see what you're doing, just keep it up. You just have to motivate them to make sure to do the work. And then don't be surprised to find that they might forget to follow up on your lead. So yes, this is the one of the major weaknesses of a resource investigator. Sorry. And then we have team worker. The team worker helps the team to gel, using their versatility to identify the work required and complete it on behalf of the team. Strengths: cooperative, perceptive, and diplomatic. Listens and averts friction. And then we have allowable weaknesses: can be indecisive in crunch situations and tend to avoid confrontations. And then we have, don't be surprised to find that they might be hesitant to make unpopular decisions. So these are what you would most likely face from a team worker. The person is always making sure everybody is in a good mood, making sure that everybody is doing their jobs properly, and completes even some of the gaps, or stands in the gap for some of the team members. But they can be very indecisive. They can be shy when you put them on a spotlight, and they might not be able to give you good reports when put at a tight position. So, and yeah, don't be surprised when they make very unpopular um decisions. And then we have the coordinator, needed to focus on the team objectives, draws out team members, and delegate works appropriately. Strengths: mature, confident, identifies talent, clarifies goals. And then we have allowable weaknesses. Can be seen as manipulative and might offload their own share of the work. Don't be surprised to find that they might overdelegate, leaving themselves little work to do. So I'm sure we have all seen this kind of persons in our offices, right? They have You have for sure seen one of these persons um, falls in your office. You might not want to call them out, but you might have seen it in some of your team members, or you have seen it even in yourself, right? So for a coordinator, they seem like they have all of their eggs in a basket. They know what they're doing. They are these persons that you put on the spotlight and they deliver, right? And then these persons, because of how straight they can be, how very overconfident they can be, you tend to notice that they might be giving you their work with style, and you are just doing everybody's work. He might give everybody his own share of work, and everybody will do that, and you would just be oblivious. Some people might be oblivious, but some people that are emotionally intelligent or have been in the office space for a while will know clearly, this is not my job description, this is not my role, this is your role. So you could say they are quite manipulators, but yeah, these are the kind of persons you have to make sure to also keep an eye out for in the office. And you also have to be clear with what you as a person um, um, are, and it's not a bad thing. We're just humans, and we all have our lapses. Yeah, so we have the plants, tends to be highly creative and good at solving problems in unconventional ways. And then we have strengths, creative, imaginative, free thinking, generates ideas and solve difficult problems, might ignore incidentals and may be too preoccupied to communicate effectively. And don't be surprised to find that they could be absent-minded or forgetful. So for plants are pretty much those persons that, if you notice, you go to the office and you have a problem, they have very innovative ways of just solving a problem. Like, you feel like they know it all. There are people that you can go and meet and it's clear they can do this, they can do that. And their lapses is that you will go to meet them, and maybe you have a report or something on their decks that needs to be done, and you'll notice that they haven't been able to do that because of they're handling so many other things. And due to this, they might be absent-minded, they might not really be as performing as they should, because they're plants. They are creative. It's like they have a season. You water them, they grow, they produce, they give back food and all of that, and they die. But not die in that manner. They 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 reduce the enthusiasm. They reduce um their how do I put it, their productivity, right? And yeah, things just become like a blur at some point. And then we have monitor evaluators, provides a logical eye, making impartial judgments where required, and weighs up the team's options in a dispassionate way. Strength is sober, strategic, and discerning, sees all options and judges accurately. Sorry, Oyetunde. And nice one, Isaac. I am a coordinator in my team in the office, but I don't do all this orga stuff. So it is well. So, allowable weaknesses that sometimes lacks the drive and ability to inspire others and can be overcritical. Don't be surprised to find that they could be slow to come to decisions. So for monitor evaluators, these persons have good eye. They're strategic. They don't make decisions based on their emotions. They don't make decisions based on what they see is good. They don't make decisions based on what they think is wrong. They are just neutral, and they are able to see where there is potential and where there is no potential. They are very plain. They give it to you as it is, as plain as it is. And because of this, sorry, and because of this, they can be overcritical. Like, for example, you could bring a very good idea, and because they do not know how to break the news to you gently, or to understand that maybe you are coming with so much enthusiasm, they come and they tell you, oh, this is a bad idea. I do not really understand why you would think of this. This is not going to help the company. This is not going to help the project. I don't think you should go about it this way. You should go about it this other way. For some persons, this might be offensive, but you should understand that this is also one of the roles of persons as team players. These are what some characteristics that you will find in your team members. And specialists, we have bring in-depth knowledge of a key area to the team. No, it's not bad to be a plant. It's not bad to be a plant. Olu. So specialists bring in depth knowledge of a key area to the team. Strengths, they are single-minded, self-starting, and dedicated. They provide specialist knowledge and skills. Allowable weaknesses, tends to contribute on a narrow front and can dwell on the technicalities. Don't be surprised to find that they overload you with information. Yes, Stephen, which can be demoralizing. So yeah. So for the specialists, these persons are really self-sufficient, self-reliant. They are dedicated. They have all the skills, right? They tend to contribute, which is their weaknesses, on a narrow front and can dwell with the technicalities. So this kind of persons solely believe in their own know-how. They believe in their own skills and knowledge, which can be a bit difficult to work with persons like this because they they know it all, or they believe they know it all, right? So this can be a bit challenging. So these are, like I said, that you will have to face. And then we have the shaper, provides the necessary drive to ensure that the team keeps moving and does not lose focus or momentum. Strengths: challenging, dynamic, thrives on pressure, has the drive and courage to overcome obstacles, can be prone to provocation and may sometimes offend people's feelings. They could risk becoming aggressive and bad humored in their attempts to get things done. So the shaper, do you know those people that they say, I can work under pressure? I feel like these are the persons that you can say you can put that. Yeah, these are the persons that you can put under that. People that you believe they can work under pressure, but it's not really all of that. It it can be a bit tasking, but they're also very good persons to have in the team. They um they can be um they can be challengers. They thrive on pressure, like I said, and they have a way of knowing how to overcome obstacles. So we are about to so yeah, we're about to have an attendance. Please. So we're about to have an attendance. Let's take a break. Thank you. Okay, welcome back, guys. Um, we were we stopped at shapers, right? Sorry, we stopped at shapers. So um, I think we're now at implementers. So under implementers, we have needed to plan a workable strategy and carry it out as efficiently as possible. Practical, reliable. The strands are they're practical, reliable, efficient, turns ideas into actions and organizes work that needs to be done. We also have allowable weaknesses, which is can be a bit inflexible and slow to respond to new possibilities. So don't be surprised to find that they might be slow to relinquish their plans in favor of positive changes. So for the implementers, like as it says, they can be practical, reliable, efficient. They turn ideas into actions. Those persons that you know that once an idea is laid out, you see them in an instant, they're working on it. They're giving good reports, they're giving great energy, they're on it, right? Thank you, Tina. They're on it ASAP. So their weakness is that they can be a bit inflexible and slow to respond to new possibilities. Those people that can be very headstrong on their own ideas or on their own strategies, or when they feel this works for them, they cannot believe that another thing should work or another thing should be given to them. This is how it is. This is how it is. Take it or leave it. So, thank you, Damilari. So, yes, those are the implementers. And their major fault is that they might be slow to relinquish their plans and in favor of positive changes. So, another example I can give you of an implementer is that most of these persons sometimes they can be, how do I put it? Okay, let me use an example like how um let me use an example of one of my team members in one of the companies I've worked. I'm not going to say any name or what sector. There was the use of normal WhatsApp group chats, right, for you to have communications amongst the teams, communications amongst members, amongst projects, and all of that. And with time, the company decided that no, we are going to be using Slack because Slack is much more um, professional. It has so many features. It is much more reliant, and it's more. It takes off the whole what do you call it? The whole homey vibe, the whole neutral campgrounds. When you see a message from Slack, you automatically get it in your head that this is a message that needs to be attended to ASAP, or whatever job description or project or tax needs to be done ASAP, right? ASAP. So we had a team member that he would not want to. If you do not message him regardless through WhatsApp, he's not going to reply to Slack. He's not going to join any of most of the meetings. It was just a drag moment for this team member, and we just had to just lightly onboard this person to make it easy for everybody and make it easy for the team members so that we could collaborate more smoothly and work on projects more smoothly. There was much more professional communication than just the WhatsApp. So yeah, so we have the completer slash finisher. Completer finisher. For the completer finisher, they are most effectively used at the end of tasks to polish and scrutinize the work for errors, subjecting it to the highest standards of quality control. Their strength is painstaking, consciousness, anxious searches for searches out errors, sorry, polishes and perfects. Allowable weaknesses can be inclined to worry unduly and reluctant to delegate. And don't be surprised, they could be accused of taking their perfectionism to extremes. So completed finishers are just persons that you go to are your go-to persons to make sure that they go through documents, go through reports, go through the project to make sure that what you think you are missing out, they can help you to readjust it. Sometimes most of these persons can be perfectionists. The most simplest of mistakes is something that could just throw them off and believe that the whole thing is wrong. So yes, these are also team roles that you would need from your team members, and you should be able to know how to tackle them. So we have responsibility alignment assignment matrix. So another key success factor for your project is to make sure that right from the start of the project, every team members know knows who is doing what. The easiest way to make sure this happens is to use this matrix, the responsibility assignment matrix. Yes, Stephen, they fine tune a project. So it is important to list work packages for the projects down the left hand side of the matrix, and then list all the members of the project team as well as all other stakeholders who will be playing an active role in the project across the top. There are several acronyms that are used to define the various roles: RASEC, RASI, PARES, RASI, etc. Don't worry, you'll get to know what all this means. So for the next slide, we have the RASIC. So we prefer using RASIC. And under RASIC, sorry, and other RASIC we have approved, support, informed, and consulted. So under responsible, the person who will have responsibility and accountability for making sure the work package is achieved. We have approved, the person who signs off the work package. We have support, the person who will help the responsible achieve the work package. We have informed, the person who needs to be kept informed about the work package. And then the person you copy on an email or invite to a meeting. Then we have consulted, the expert or other person who you need input from for the work package. So under responsible, the person who will have responsibility and accountability for making sure the work package is achieved. Is achieved, and then we have these persons are accountable for these persons are accountable for the these persons are accountable for making sure that the project meets its optimum goal. These persons are accountable that everybody does their roles. This person is accountable for just making sure that everybody's accountable for both their um, great great work and also their lapses. Then we have the approves. This person who signs off the work packages. It could be the manager, it could be the project manager, it could be the stakeholder, the head of the projects. It could be the stakeholders, depending on who may be given that power to do that job. And then we have the supports, the person who will help the responsible achieve the work package. And then informed, the person who needs to be kept informed about the work package, the person you copy on an email or invite to a meeting. And then we have the consultant, the expert or other persons who need input from for the work package. So, and then in our next slide, this is the RASIC process. So under the RASIC process, let's say project ABC is the name. of the project, depending on what you want to name the project. Depending on what you want to name the project. And then persons A with maybe the person's job descriptions, persons B with the person's job descriptions, person C with the person's job descriptions, persons D and E. It could be whoever, maybe team members, most likely team most likely team members and maybe stakeholders or clients, depending. So we have requirements. So requirements, we have persons R um for team member A. We have the define, which is um I. We have design, which is I. Develop, which is A. Test, which is S. All under the team member A, right? All under the team members A. And then we have B, stakeholder or team members B, which we have requirements S, we have define A, design A, develop I, and test R. So all those are from the previous slide. All those letters are all from the previous slide of what we explained. RASIC is responsible, who approves, who is supporting, who is meant to be informed, and who needs to be consulted. So that is how the RASIC process is here. And then and we are pretty much done with the class for today. So yeah, questions and answers. And from questions and answer we have thank you. So do we have any questions before we finish off early today? Thank you, Adidipe. This is like a bit confusing. Um, so Razik isn't really as much confusing as you may think. It's just pretty much also like a it's a responsibility assignment matrix. When you hear responsibility assignment matrix, what do you think it is? It's just pretty much who are you assigning the job to? Who are you assigning the roles to? Let's take it back a slide. Who are you assigning the roles to? Who are you assigning the responsibilities to? And what, based on the roles that we have put for the team members, right? What exactly is this person's capability? What have you defined this person's role to be? And how can we, how am I measuring the productivity? How am I measuring the productivity? How am I measuring the um what do you call it? How am I measuring the rate of productivity from my team members? At the top we have the stakeholders, right? At the top we have the stakeholders. Let me show you the yeah, let me show you this again. At the top we have the stakeholders. Under the stakeholders for the persons that is written up, we have um stakeholder A, we have stakeholder B, we have stakeholder C, we have stakeholder D, we have stakeholder E. And then based on your own analytics, based on your own evaluation of your team members, right? You have already made sure that you know who is meant to be responsible for some of the requirements. You know who is responsible, you know who is supposed to support the requirements, that is S. You know who is supposed to inform the stakeholder about the requirement. You know who is supposed to consult regarding the requirements of the stakeholder. And you know who is supposed to approve the requirements for stakeholder E, right? Once you are able to understand the terminologies, R stands for responsible, S stands for support, S stands for S stands for support, yes. I stands for informed. C stands for consulted. So based on the phases that we've written under the other by the left side, which is requirement, define, design, develop, and test. When you say that for stakeholder A, what is the requirement for stakeholder A? You know who is responsible. So you know that, okay, let's say Ola is supposed to be responsible for the requirements for stakeholder A. And then you say, okay, who is supposed to define the requirements? Who is supposed to make sure that this stakeholder understand what is the definition of this project? Who is meant to maybe create the slides or the prototype? So who is the person that is going to inform about the packages? Who is supposed to be the person that is going to invite this stakeholder about the the overview of what the project is all about. And then we have of all of this of what stakeholder A is supposed to understand. And then design under design we also have an informant for stakeholder A. Sorry, I'm mumbling. For stakeholder A, under design, we still need that same informant, the person that is supposed to inform about the work package and also inform the invite or the meetings that is supposed to involve stakeholder A. And then under the development, okay, so who is supposed to approve the work and who is supposed to approve the product that has been made for stakeholder A, right? Let's say for stakeholder A, um, the person that's supposed to approve it is Stella, right? Stella is supposed to approve it. And then for the testnet, who is supposed to support um, the whole work package? Who is supposed to be the person that will help make that is responsible to help make sure that that this project is delivered to our stakeholder A? For S, that person should be Joel. Oga Joel is going to be in charge of that. So I hope you've understood it. The A, B, C, D, E are stakeholders, while the RASIC, the RSICAs, are the assignment matrix, responsibility assignment matrix for your team members, right? Isaac, for understanding. I think Samuel may assist you if you're in squad one. Okay, Joel. Yes, Adedipe. It's just like delegating work to different team members. Exactly. Duties are clearly assigned to team members. Thank you, Stella, for understanding. In most cases, could be the MD who fits in the responsibility. Yes, role. Yes, the MD, the director, managing director, whoever. This Razak is a bit confusing. It's not confusing the moment you understand the terminologies for each of them. Thank you very much, Toby Loba. Um, thanks for the session taken. We are starting on the campus. Yes, you are supposed to. Okay. I think all team members should be trained to have knowledge of all roles in case any member of the team is indisposed or unavoidably not able to function. Yes, Stella, that's a very beautiful point. And as a project manager, that is a very important point for you to also take because now that you've known the responsibilities of a team member and you know um, how your team members are meant to behave, you are well aware of the Belbin team roles, right? Methodology, you can now clearly state and know who you can put on a task, and who you know can help complete a task, and who you know you cannot have on a task for too long. It just helps you to know how to delegate properly. It helps you to know who who should be on a project for long, who should not be on a project for long, what clarifications you need to have on just one team member or all the team members. You just can communicate clearly because you now fully understand the capacity of your team members and the roles of your team members. So I hope you understand. And yeah, thank you, Stella, for that amazing points that you added to the group, to the class. Sorry. So, without further ado, I think I would have to bid you all a good night or a good day to those that are in Nigeria. I think it's a good night, and to those that are in other amazing countries as my country, yeah, um, I think it's about time we say good night or good day. So, cheers, everybody. Bye.